This super unconventional, but I'm gonna give y'all a entire podcast while I'm cooking for my son, man. 32 minute podcast. I'm back after a long break, and we doing it unconventional going forward, man. I'm just gonna turn on the phone and record. This is gonna be episode 99, right before episode 100, man. We got a lot to talk about. We about to knock it out the park, man. It's good to see y'all. How y'all doing, man? Get in the comments. Let me know what's been going on. So the first topic I want to holler at y'all about, y'all know we usually start out with the Reddit warm-ups, and we got to start out with the Klay Thompson, Meg the Stallion type situation. So first of all, of course it was cheating allegations. Said that boy Klay Thompson was doing his damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, to be frank, Meg didn't have a lot of public relationships. That's just the name of the game. That's what it is. So I don't really feel no type of way about if Klay made agreement to a monogamous situation. Now he's saying that due to his struggles of the season, he got to change his ways, and she didn't want to deal with it. It's okay, but he is wrong if before he made that decision to tell her that, he chose to do his damn thing. Now I can't comment on other people's relationship. I guess I am right now, but it is what it is. Now you're wrong if you did that, Klay. Now, y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comments below. Now, getting right into our first topic of things, let's talk about the 2026 NFL draft. Y'all give me 1 second to grab some butter. I'm finna make these eggs real quick. Hold on. Oh, no. I ain't even got no butter. It is what it is. But we talking about the 2026 NFL draft. Let me go over my top 5 classes with y'all. So the first class we're going to talk about is my Jets, man. New York Jets. Big Jets. Jets. You already know it. So when it comes down to the Jets, man, we ain't going to talk about the full class with all of these classes. We just going to go over, we're going to go over the first 3 rounds and maybe some interesting picks that I like after that, particularly quarterbacks. So with the Jets, our first round pick was David Bailey, edge from Texas Tech. Now, I really loved him as a prospect. I get a lot of people expected us and wanted us to take Arvell Reese from Ohio State. The thing about that is, me watching their tape and stuff like that, being an avid college football fan, is I watch Arvell Reese mostly in the playoffs. I didn't like what I seen. To me, he made zero impact. I don't remember him making a sack or tackle for loss. And every tackle he made seemed like the ball carriers were pushing forward like it was well beyond the line of scrimmage. He didn't do him, Caden McDonald's, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs. I wasn't impressed with them much at all. Even though I know they're phenomenal prospects and going to be franchise players, some of them, I wasn't that impressed. You know, I watched specifically the game against Miami, and Miami I know was coming in chill. I know they're going to be a physical running team, and I wasn't impressed from what I seen from any of them in that game. It seemed like they got pushed around on almost every play, specifically Caden McDonald getting pushed around on third downs to get a first down for the other team. It was crazy. Now, David Bailey. He was known as the best edge in his class, the best pure pass rusher in his class, insane athlete, 6'3", 240 pounds, ran a 4.5 40, known as not being great against the run, right? But led the nation in sacks with 14.5, was close to the lead in the nation in tackles for loss, just amazing on the edge, right? And a bright future, young prospect ahead of him, graduated from Stanford in 3 years. I can't find much wrong with them besides the run stopping stuff. But we'll see how they plays out. The Jets, they also signed a multitude of run defenders in free agency. So I expect Bailey to start, but I don't expect them to play 100% of the downs. So I think we'll be decent there. For our second first round pick, tight end Kenyon Sadiq. To me, he had the best combine performance out of everybody. You know, 6'3", 240-pound tight end, ran a 4.39 40-yard dash, 43.5-inch vertical leap, I believe, Amazing broad jump, just destroyed the combine, right? Had over 500 yards at Oregon. You know Oregon produces tight ends. They got another one coming up next year. But this guy was the athletic freak of all athletic freaks at the combine. Now, of course, the Jets picked up Mason Taylor last year in the second round. Had a decent season, you know what I'm saying? But Kenyon has way more potential than Mason. And regardless, I think those two can work together along with us re-signing Jeremy Ruckert to be more of a blocking specialist and, occasionally get out there. We got a good tight end court that has a chance to be the best and within 3 years in the entire NFL. So I really love Kenyon. He's a yard at the catch beast. A yard at the catch beast. Gino's going to be able to get him the ball out quickly. He's going to be able to line up, and he also likes to block. He was getting a lot of comps to Vernon Davis. By the way, my comps for David Bailey was Danielle Hunter, all-pro defensive end for the Texans. And I think David Bailey has that same type of potential. Kenyon said he was getting a lot of Vernon Davis comparisons. I thought that was kind of lazy, you know what I'm saying? But if it were to come to fruition, I love that connection right there. Vernon Davis, awesome tight end back in the day for the 49ers. Then you got our third first-round pick was Omar Cooper Jr. Omar Cooper Jr. from the national championship Indiana Hoosiers. Turned into their number one wideout towards the end of the year. I happened to watch the game live of Indiana versus Penn State. That game was a ton of fun. Of course, Omar made the incredible catch. I believe it was on third or fourth down. Foot this close away from the back line end zone to get it in, to get Indiana that win. That would have been a major upset. I don't know. I would say they would still be in the playoffs at that point. Hey, chill. It would have been, hey, kids, but it'd been devastating to their circumstances. That's how y'all know this real and this live. But it would have been devastating to their circumstances. He's sure-handed, not the most explosive athlete, but he's sure-handed, run great route. He has a very mature game to him. You know what I'm saying? Knows how to get open. Should be good in the slot or the outside. Of course, we got Garrett Wilson as our number one receiver. He plays a lot in the slot, and I love to see him more there with Gino as the QB. But Omar Cooper immediately slides into that wide receiver 2 or 3 role with Adonai Mitchell. And we'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll add a veteran addition. There's a lot of guys out there. Keenan Allen, Tyreek Hill, Jawan Jennings. Don't know if we're going to invest a lot. But we'll see how that plays out. I think we still need another addition there, but I like the addition of Omar Cooper. For our second round pick, because we had to trade up to get Omar Cooper, so we lost the second round pick. We had 2 of them. Our first second round pick was D'Angelo Pons. Plays just like our head coach, Aaron Glenn. Love to see that. Undersized. And he was also on the national championship Indiana Hoosiers, in my opinion, the best player on the team, but by far the best player on that defense. 5'8", my height, 168. Well, I'm taller than him actually, but 5'8", 170 pounds, anywhere from 170 to 180. Not a big dude, but again, all Big Ten selection. I'm not sure off the top of my head if he was All-American, but I know he was at least all Big Ten. A lot of receivers that got drafted this year, you asked them when they played against anybody, who was the player that was the hardest to go up against? And that was D'Angelo Pons. A lot of them, including Malachi Fields. So, again, diminutive guy, great competitive spirit, great athleticism, great testing, great coverage ability, feisty, and he helps out against the run. And I think he has a chance to start on the outside or in the slot. You know, a lot of Jets fans, or analysts, I should say, think we have a solid secondary. At least, let's just talk about the cornerbacks real quick. I don't. Personally, y'all know I'm a big Florida State fan. That's my team. You know what it is. But, so that lets me know a lot of information about Azareye'h Thomas. I love Azareye'h. I think he has the ability to start if he can stay healthy and have a long career in the league. Brandon Stevens, I'm not huge on. I'm just not huge on. Don't think he's a number one cornerback. Think he might, have a good chance to be a number two like he was with the Ravens. Don't think he's a great number one. I think he's a low-end number one. D'Angelo Pons, I think he can slide right in. I don't know if he's going to be Pro Bowl level first year. I don't anticipate that because, there's a difference in the speed of the NFL and things of that nature. But I think he has a chance to be a good rookie corner, and I think he'll start majority of the games he plays in this year and going forward. Hopefully it's him, Steven, and Azari with Brownlee rotating in. They're going to get a lot of help from Minka on the back end, hopefully, and Dan Shelton as well in that safety room, along with Malachi Moore, safety we drafted last year. So we talked a lot about the Jets, and maybe we over-talked about them, but that's my team. We're going to move quickly through the next top five. So after that, we're going to talk about the New York Giants, our crosstown guys, the people who, we share they share the stadium with us, you know what I'm saying, little bro them. So the Giants, man, let's just keep it on some picks I love from them. Francis Mauigoa, love that pick. I'm not a Miami guy. Y'all know that. I'm not with none of that U stuff, but they had some good prospects, and I think he was the best of the bunch, me personally. I think he was the top offensive lineman in the draft. Of course, I watched a lot of Miami games over the years. They the ops, but they're an ACC team. Again, Florida State fan. I'm going to watch a lot of their games. And he just didn't have a bad year in college. If you look at his testing numbers, excellent. Never really seen a guy beat him around the edge, and it's impossible to bull rush or power through him. He's strong as an ox. I won't say he's a dancing bear tackle. That's why they think he's going to get slid inside the guard. I think that would be I think he could be an all-pro there. I think he can be a Pro Bowler / all-pro at tackle. Guard might be his best position, but I would try him out at right tackle first. He's strong as an ox, man. If you need to get any type of yardage, run behind that dude. For blocking, he's definitely a better run blocker than pass blocker, but he's not getting beat much in pass blocking as well. But run blocking, he's simply dominant. The best in his class by far, pancaking everything. You know what I'm saying? Arvell Reese was actually their first pick at number 5 overall. Loved that pick. He ended up sliding. Man, Arvell was a one-year starter. I get it, as Ohio State. I'm hesitant on people who, don't start for that long and stuff like that. But he's an incredible athlete. Sonny Styles was the leader of that defense along with Caleb Downs. Arvell's a young prospect. He still has a lot of room to grow. He's raw. Doesn't have many pass rush moves. Good against the run. Hey. Good against the run, but at minimum, he knows how to set an edge. And again, incredible tools. So he's anticipated to be a good pass rusher in the future. Give me 1 second, y'all. So, in saying that, another piece I love for the Giants was Colton Hood, cornerback for Tennessee. I had him as a top 5 corner in this class. He ends up going to the Giants. I expect him to play a lot. Their first-round pick, Banks, from a couple years ago, Deontay, I believe it is, he hasn't really panned out as much as you would think. He's actually, basically a special teams player at this point. Still gets snaps, but basically a special teams player at this point. Not what you're looking for in the third year of a first-round pick. So I think Colton has a chance to play a lot for that I don't know if it's Jim or John, the Harbaugh-led defense there. We know they want to get physical. So, moving on from the Giants, man. After that, let me see. The draft class that I really like after the Giants was the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland probably had the number 1 or 2 draft, in my personal opinion. Spencer Fanu, who a lot of people had rated as the top tackle in this class. They traded back. Hey, chill. They traded back with the Chiefs and still picked up the player they would have probably picked at number 6 and number 9. So I obviously love that. KJ Concepcion, Texas A&M wide receiver, speedy guy, speed for days, diminutive, small, but has again, just a fast guy, explosive guy, great after the catch guy. They picked him up. They need a wide receiver help. I love the pick of Denzel Boston. Give them a big outside receiver to throw to. Not the fastest guy, but not slow either. I think he has NFL speed. I'm sorry, y'all guys. I think he has NFL speed, and I won't be surprised if initially he makes a bigger impact than KJ Concepcion. We'll see how that plays out. Cleveland fans, y'all get in the comments below. I feel like I'm missing one of y'all prospects. Denzel Boston and Spencer Fanu. I feel like I'm missing one of y'all really, really good prospects. Forgive me. Slipping my mind right now, doing a lot of things at once. But after, what's up, man? Get that off your neck. What are you doing? This man got a bucket on his neck. After the Cleveland Browns, y'all. So we're moving on from the top 3 to number 4 class. Number 4 class that I really, really liked. And this was a weaker draft, you know what I'm saying? Next year, the draft that everybody really, really waiting for. Yeah, next year is the draft that everybody's really, really waiting for. But after them, I like the Tennessee Titans. You know, their first pick, they went and got Carnell Tate, which is a lot of help for Cam Ward, number 1 overall pick last year from Miami. One thing about Mario, he gonna send them boys to the NFL. You can give him that. Carnell Tate, obviously the number 2 wide receiver on the Ohio State Buckeyes. You know, that's going to happen when we got the best receiver in college football for the last 3 years in Jeremiah Smith. But I think he has a chance to be a number 1 in the NFL. Obviously a 5-star recruit from high school, great catch radius. He's a downfield threat, but I think he has a chance to expand his route tree. Gonna be coached by Brian Daboll, so we're gonna see how he ends up. But I like his pick at number 4. After that, their second pick, I believe, in the first round was Keldrick Falk from Auburn. Really liked him as a prospect. You know, he almost went to the nose, but ended up going to his hometown Auburn. That's a story in itself. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, go look up the story. Kendrick Falk almost committing to Florida State, but ended up going to Auburn. It's crazy. But Keldrick Falk, he ended up having a decent career. You know, his sophomore tape is better than his junior tape. He just finished more plays as a sophomore. I think he ended up bulking some as a junior. He looks the part, and that's why I think he's going to do good in that. Robert Saleh, former coach of the Jets defense. I think he'll be solid there. Got a veteran to learn from in Jermaine. I think he's going to, and Jeffrey Simmons, one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL, best players in the NFL, one of them. And I think he's going to be best position-wise at 3 tech, personally, defensive tackle. Next up after that, in our final draft class that we're going to holler about today that I think was really, really good. There's a lot of question marks there for a lot of teams. That's why it's hard to come up with them. But let me see. Well, let me think. Who y'all got as the 5th? Or who was y'all teams that y'all like? Maybe we'll just keep it at 4 right here. You know what I'm saying? 5 is actually pretty difficult to come up with. But let me say the Raiders. Of course, picking Fernando Mendoza, the best quarterback in the draft. I think he's going to be a fantastic franchise quarterback for many years to come, obviously under the tutelage of Tom Brady. And I actually like what the Raiders are doing. I love what the Raiders are doing, actually. They're picking up good players all around. Traded Tyree Wilson in the draft. Thought that was a sad situation, but you got to get out of situations, you know what I mean, when it happens. They were supposed to have 2 extra first-round picks, but, of course, the Ravens righteously and should have, they bucked on them boys about their trade. So you end up with getting Max Crosby back, an all-pro bowler in his prime. So, you know, no harm, no foul there, I guess. But I like what the Raiders did in free agency, too. I know they picked up Fernando. I'm trying to remember other pieces they picked up. I can't remember who their second round pick. Y'all help me out. It wasn't a wide receiver. Might have been a defensive player. Y'all, the Raiders fans, let me know in the comments below. Chill. Now, keeping up with the NFL theme, I wanted to holler at y'all about gambling. And that got everything to do with Brandon Sorsby, quarterback for Texas Tech Red Raiders, who's currently suspended for, I don't know. He didn't get a suspension yet. But it's probably going to be a lifetime ban from the NCAA, right? Now, he has a chance after that to go in the supplemental draft. Hey, chill. That doesn't mean that he's going to get picked. That doesn't mean that he's going to avoid suspension from the NFL if he enters the draft and get picked. Now, it's been talked about the Jets potentially putting up a third round contender. Let me tell y'all a little bit about the supplemental draft, right? How it works is whatever pick that you put up, if you end up taking that player in that round, then you lose it in the upcoming draft. So let's just say the Jets put up a third round tender for Sorsby and he gets picked there. No other team jumps ahead of them and picks him. We lose our third round pick. Long story short. So I think that'll be worth it because he's projected as a first round quarterback and a talented quarterback draft, supposedly, just like this one was supposed to be in next year's class. Now, I think it's a wash if he's suspended for the whole year, what I expect him to be. Even if he goes to the NFL, because you lose that practice time. When you get suspended, you're not at the practice facility. You're not building a rapport with your teammates, not building rapport with your receivers and pass catchers, and your offensive line, they not getting your rhythm down, you know what I'm saying? So it's basically a wash. You might as well wait for him to sit the year and keep your third round pick. But you're also missing out on the value if you do that of getting a potential first rounder for a third rounder. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you got to wait. Because next year, the Jets, we ain't hurting for picks or cap space. You know what I'm saying? JTS, we're going to be back pretty soon, believe it or not. But it's a fantastic quarterback draft, a fantastic draft next year. We got 3 first-round picks, a couple second-rounders, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of draft capital next year. So if we can, get better value this year, might want to be an opportunity to do that. But we'll see how it plays out. Y'all let me know if you're a quarterback in either team or someone like the Steelers or something like that. Y'all let me know what y'all would do. I could actually see the Steelers putting up a third or fourth rounder for him. With Aaron maybe not playing this year, maybe not playing next year. We don't know. Y'all don't know his future, so we have to see. Moving on, let's holler about the NBA playoffs, man. With the NBA playoffs, I'm giving y'all good content today. With the NBA playoffs, of course, Oklahoma City washed the Suns. Hold on. Oklahoma City washed the Suns. It's almost done. We almost done. Oklahoma City washed the Suns. We know that. Magic putting the beats on the Pistons. We'll have to see Game 6 tonight. I think the Pistons end up winning tonight, though. And tying up the series. Philly and Boston going to a Game 7. I am worried because Jason Tatum coming off that Achilles injury and returning. Also had a calf injury last game. So we'll have to see. It's Game 7 in Boston, TD Garden, man. I might have to go with the underdogs in that one and pick Philly. And we'll see how this goes. After that, it's just a lot more series. We got Huh? Okay. Anywho, we got the Lakers and Rockets. The Rockets, excuse me, bless it. The Rockets are making a comeback on the Lakers. No, they was down 3-0. But they won the last 2 games. It's going back to the Rockets' house tonight. I'm scared, y'all. I don't want it on Bron's resume being part of the team as the first team to allow a team to come back from 3-0. I know they're going to use that against my boy, and that'd be devastating. I damn near got a feeling that this is a must-win for the Lakers. Comes on tonight. Y'all tune in. It's a dangerous game, man. The Lakers got to win tonight unless they go to a Game 7 back in Lakerland. But regardless, they're not getting much rest in a series they got to play next against the Oklahoma City Thunder, which is going to be difficult anyways. After that, what's y'all? My Timberwolves, which is my favorite team, but LeBron my favorite player, so I root for the Lakers and the T-Wolves. Timberwolves ravaged by injury. Hopefully, Ant could come back. Dante DiVincenzo, he out for a long time, probably into next season, deep into next season, with an Achilles tear. Ayo got hurt, so they're going into the next series ravaged against the Spurs, who throttled the Timberwolves. Who throttled the Trailblazers. And Wemby looks awesome, potentially the best player in the world. We have to see how DPOY, got to see how that series plays off. He's going against his mentor, Rudy Gobert, so it should be a good series, but the Spurs are just a deep team. We facing a lot of injuries. Ant probably not going to play at least the first game. I anticipate him not coming back until maybe the second or third game. Then, but hopefully come back and really show, not even show, because we know Ant is one of those guys, but he going to need to be, rise above in this series. This needs to be, hey, DJ, this needs to be an Ant Edwards series. Hawks lost in historic fashion last night, losing by 51 points. Was losing by 60-something at certain points. It was crazy, the scores that people was posting. But we'll see how it plays out, man. Knicks moving on to the next round. Cleveland and Toronto, they either play tonight or tomorrow. Cleveland up 3-2 in that series. I got Cleveland moving on because the Raptors are facing a lot of injuries to Scotty Barnes and B.I., and we have to just see how that series plays out. I got the Cavs moving on, though. So that's the NBA playoffs, man. We gave y'all a lot of content. I've been cooking. The food almost done, so we about to grub. 32-minute podcast, episode 99. This was fun. Hollering at y'all. I know it's been a while. I'm going to try to be more consistent with y'all. I'm just feeling better. Hope y'all feeling better and y'all have a good day. It was good rocking with y'all, man. We knocked it out the park for sure.